Hello, and welcome to Candidates Up Front. This is a public interest election program of Berks Community Television and the League of Women Voters of Berks County. I'm Judith Cranis. Our May 20th municipal primary election is fast approaching. Democrats and Republicans will select their candidates for judges, school directors, and township, borough, and city officials. This is the election where Democrats and Republicans choose the candidates who will represent them on the November ballot. However, when there is a question on the ballot, as there is in the Kutztown School District, all registered voters in that district vote on the question. It's not just Democrats and Republicans. Any registered voter should come and vote. To check your voting status, you can go online to vote.pa.gov. And that is the official state Pennsylvania website. It's a government site, very safe. And there you can register to vote. You can change your party. You can locate your polling place, or you can apply for an absentee or mail-in ballot. And the deadline to register is May 5th. The deadline to apply for a mail-in ballot is May 13th. Now, the League, in its part, is interviewing those candidates who want to be interviewed in the contested races. For each race, the candidates will get the same basic questions and have the same amount of time to answer them. Let's begin. Hello, I'm Judith Cranis, a member of the League of Women Voters of Berks County. There are 3 candidates competing for a chance to be judge of the Court of Common Pleas. They are all cross-filed, and that means they're on the ballot for both the Democrat and the Republican Party. They are Catherine Lynn Lyman, Lauren Marks, and Eric J. Taylor. Now, voters across the county will vote for one to be on the fall ballot. The Court of Common Pleas hears trials of major criminal and civil matters. It hears matters involving children and families, and it hears appeals from the minor courts. The term is 10 years. The current salary is $227,411. And please remember, the opinions expressed in the interview are those of the candidate, not those of the League or BCTV. This interview is with Lauren Marks. And welcome, Lauren. We're glad to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Could we start out by hearing you talk about why about yourself and why you're running? Just basics. Share who you are and why you're doing this.
Absolutely. I do want to say thank you, first of all, to the League of Women Voters, as well as BCTV, to allow us to come in here to have this interview. I think it is so important that we have informed voters in these elections. This really allows people to see the personality of the candidates, to see their opinion, and to hear it straight from their mouth rather than through whisper down the alley, as you would say.
Or some of that negative advertising,
exactly,
which nobody really likes.
Correct. So my name is Lauren Marks. I am running for Court of Common Pleas. I have 4 children. I have 2 older stepchildren, Alexis and Trevor. They are adults at this point in time, which I cannot believe that I am saying. One is 19 and one is 18. And then I have 2 younger children, Wyatt and Tegan. They are 9 and 7 years old. They go to Wilson School District, Green Valley. We are extremely proud, my husband and I, Chad Marks, he is a sergeant over at West Reading Police Department. We are extremely proud of them. We believe in giving back to the community within my family. My husband has served the community in either law enforcement or as a fireman for at least 25 years. He started volunteering when he was 14 years old with the fire department. My stepdaughter is going into nursing at the Reading Hospital School of Health Sciences. And I am running because I have experience in every division of the court. And I think that is extremely important for the role, for the person that is elected to this role.
Tell us about your education and a little bit about your background for
Absolutely.
This position.
Sure. So I actually grew up in Pittsburgh. I then went to Penn State University, where I got 2 degrees, one in political science and one in film and video. I then went back to Pittsburgh and worked at WPXI as an associate producer for the news. I then decided to go to law school. So I went to law school part-time. While I was in law school part-time, I worked in the Allegheny County Courthouse in the homicide unit. I graduated, I went on to clerk for a judge, and then eventually I relocated to Berks County. So while in Berks County, I first started in the public defender's office. I specialized in preliminary hearings and eventually moved into the juvenile section. From there, I eventually went on my own. I am currently a partner at Pleas, Anderson Marks. We specialize in family law. I am often appointed by the courts as a guardian ad litem for children in dependency, custody, and orphans court cases. But I have also practiced criminally, civilly, orphans court, dependency, and family law.
So very wide-based.
Exactly.
Let's talk about personal qualities that you have that would make you a good judge.
So I believe that I have the experience. I do have jury and bench trial practice in every one of these divisions of the court. I believe that I am fair. I have the demeanor to be the right candidate for this. And I think it's really important that I'm a hard worker. I'm a very hard worker. It is running a private practice. Now, thank goodness I have the partners that I do, who they are amazing. We have a wonderful practice. We're very supportive of each other. But we are running a private practice. I do have 2 little children at home. My husband has a demanding schedule as a sergeant at West Reading, and we accomplish everything. And it is because of hard work, dedication, organization, and patience that we can do all of that. And I think I would bring that to the courtroom.
Tell us, and we'll be quick on this one, the volunteer and community work that you might be involved in.
Sure. So we're very active within our community, particularly with Wilson. Our kids do play sports, so we're active within those activities. I frequently go in for any type of school activities like reading to the children if I'm able to. My husband is active with the Homeschool Association. He helps out with the book fair. I also have been on the board of directors for the Bar Association. I served with them for 3 years on the board, and I have twice chaired the family law section of the Bar Association. And through them, I have done things like pro bono work for members of the community. I have also participated in things like Book'em, which is coming up, where we give books to kindergartners, pre-kindergartners. We go into the Reading School District, we read, and the children are so excited to get a book. I've also done work with the YMCA, and I'm active within the Rally for Rider cause as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's say you're on the bench.
Sure.
And you're explaining to citizens who have been called for jury duty exactly what their jobs are, what they need to do to serve. Tell us how you would do that.
So it's interesting. Oftentimes I get a call from somebody that they've got a summons for jury duty, and there's kind of a huff, and what do I do? How do I get out of it? And I explain to them that being on a jury is not only your civic duty, but it's an honor. We are able to be judged by a panel of our peers. That does not happen in other countries. We are extremely lucky to have that happen within this country. So I would explain to the person, go in with an open mind. You're going to go in, you're going to be able to listen to the attorneys, you're going to be able to look at evidence, you're going to be the ultimate fact finder of the case. And I think that a lot of people end up actually loving the experience and realizing how important it is to them that we have this right within this country.
And I'll have to say I've served on a jury, and yes, that was my experience. It was really exciting.
Yes.
You've mentioned the different areas of court. Where would you prefer to serve if you had that choice?
So my career has been dedicated to children mostly. And I love working within the family court system. Now, I say I prefer to be in family court. That is up to the president judge. Judge Johnson can place us wherever she feels it's necessary and wherever the need is. But I would like to go into the family court system. I do find it interesting as well, the interplay between the family court system and the criminal system. There's a saying that criminals are people on their best behavior and family court is sometimes people on their worst behavior. So sometimes it does go hand in hand. So I would be fine going into any division, but I would prefer family law with perhaps some PFAs, some criminal court, something that I feel that I can help these families get back on their feet, and particularly the children, so that they can have the best lives possible for them.
And a PFA for our home viewers is a protection from abuse
Correct.
order, just so the jargon sometimes gets in the way
absolutely.
of understanding. Tell me how you feel about the special courts that we have here in Berks County, and do you think we need any additional ones?
So the Berks County Special Courts are imperative to our system. We really have a great group of courts here in Berks County. We are some of the best in the state. We have mental health, drug, DUI court, veterans court, and they're so important because part of the job is not just punishment. The job is being able to rehabilitate people at the same time. And these are very intensive courts. So let's take example, Veterans Court. These are people that are serving us overseas, that are out there risking their lives for us to have the ability to have rights like serving on a jury. And then they come back here, and unfortunately sometimes they have substance abuse issues or mental health issues. And these are courts that understand what they need and can work with them so that they can rehabilitate them, they can be productive members of society, but they also are having punishment for whatever crime or issue has occurred.
Mm-hmm. And DUI is drinking...
Driving under the influence.
Driving under the influence,
Correct.
Yes. Mm-hmm. One of the issues that often comes up in conversations is plea bargaining. Could you
Sure.
give us your views on that?
Well, plea bargaining is imperative to the functioning of the system. Without plea bargaining, everything would slow down to a rate where nothing would be accomplished. And plea bargaining is very important in that it brings finality to people without having to go through the emotion of a trial and the expense of a trial. And often what happens with a plea bargain is you have the input from the victim, you have input from the defendant through his attorney, and you're able to reach an agreement that is satisfactory to everyone. And like I said, that really gives some finality to everybody. And as a result, it gives the court more time to dedicate to those cases that need a jury trial, a bench trial. And I should say, it's not just plea bargaining. We do a lot of stipulations, et cetera, a lot in cases like family court, in civil court. We try our best to find the middle ground in order to finalize the case.
So it helps the people on all sides.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Mm-hmm. In sentencing somebody who's been convicted of a crime, what factors should be considered?
So when you're sentencing somebody for a crime, there are these sentencing guidelines, which are mandatory in Pennsylvania. But in addition, you want to be taking a look at other factors. For example, what type of crime is this? Is this a violent crime? Is this a nonviolent crime? Is this a first offense? Is this somebody that has a lengthy history and has a high, what we call, prior record score? You're going to be taking a look at the family life of the person. I mean, unfortunately, there's so much background to why some of these crimes occur psychologically and through the family, et cetera. Work history, family life. Are they a risk to the community? What is the recidivism rate? And how can we rehabilitate that person so that they can become a productive member of society?
Mm-hmm. And when is an alternative to jail appropriate in your mind?
Well, just as I spoke about the potential recidivism and the risk to the community versus rehabilitation, that's when you really have to take a look at what is the best scenario for a person. So jail is not always appropriate for people. There are some times that people have a nonviolent offense, perhaps a theft, perhaps a DUI, something to that effect where it's not appropriate to put them in jail. Perhaps they're working, perhaps they have a family, as I said, maybe a first offense. And in those types of cases, the best interest for everyone involved is for them to go through probation. They still have to have some punishment as well as learning for what has occurred, but at the same time, still be out there working, still be out there contributing to their community as well as their family.
Under what circumstances would you recuse yourself from a case? And for our home viewers, recusing says that I have some issue that I shouldn't be sitting on the bench for this case.
So there's the idea that you need to recuse yourself, and it's not an idea, I should say, it is what you need to do. If you have any connection with the case, so if you know anybody on the case, any of the parties, that sort of thing. If you have any monetary value within the case, that sort of thing. Anything that looks like the appearance of impropriety or actual impropriety in that you could be biased hearing a case on the bench. I will tell you, this is one of the factors that is so important for us within the law because it gives people trust in the judiciary. I have had so many times where I have clients who have gone in front of a judge and maybe we didn't win, but the judge was not biased, the judge was fair, the judge listened to them, and because of that, they have faith within that judge's decision.
How are you funding your campaign? The judge is countywide. That's a bigger area to cover. Yeah.
It's an expensive area to cover, unfortunately. You know, it is unfortunate money that has to be spent to go into these campaigns. Berks County is a very large county to cover. You know, sometimes I wonder if there does need to be some type of a cap on spending for elections. But I am funding it. Some of it is through my own private funds that are being lent to the campaign. Some of it is from family that is assisting, and a lot of it is from supporters that are making private donations. And when I say my campaign, it's all going to our political action committee in accordance with the rules of the law.
Okay. I think for a last question, what we want to ask, why is the position of judge so important that people should come out and vote for this?
So unfortunately, the primary election after a presidential election typically has the lowest rate of turnout. And that is sad because we are the people you're going to see if you go to court. We are the people that are making decisions about your children and where they reside, or about a house and how it's going to be sold. About a criminal case where someone broke into your car or damaged your property and what happens to that person. You need to know who you're voting for. You need to understand that this is the person that you are going to see that will possibly have a huge impact on your life. So it's very important that people come out and vote, that they be educated when they're voting, and that they know who the candidates are and what they stand for.
And I'm going to say, just adding to the list of things, a car accident.
Oh, absolutely.
That kind of thing can happen. Or there's some school board decision that you'd agree with. That's going to come to our local courts before it goes anywhere else.
Name changes, adoptions, all of that comes to us.
Yes, and so if you're sitting at home thinking, oh, I don't need to pay attention to that,
right,
you'd be wise too, because there'll be a time when it might affect you, and knowing that you had a say in putting that person on the bench, that you have the right to elect a judge. There are many countries where judges are not elected. They're appointed by who's ever in charge of something else, and you're stuck with it. This is one where you can vote. So
exactly.
Putting in my plea for getting people
I agree
to
with
the
you
polls
completely. You're completely right.
And I think we're ready for you to make a closing statement.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much for having me.
Delight to have you.
The time went by very fast.
It does.
So I am asking the voters of Berks County to, first of all, please come out on May 20th, and second of all, to vote for me. I am the only candidate that has actually practiced in every division of the court. So that is civil, family, criminal, dependency, orphans court. I have trial experience, including jury trial and bench trial experience. I think I have the right demeanor. I am a hard worker. I will say that while I am from Pittsburgh originally, I love Berks County. I am raising my children here. My family has relocated here, so my parents actually moved here. My brother moved out. He's now a teacher at Boyertown. And I really have the best interest of this community, and I think I can serve it well.
Thank you, Lauren Marks, for sharing your views with us. Viewers, please remember there are 2 more candidates for judge on both the Democrat and Republican ballot. They are Eric J. Taylor and Catherine Lynn Lehman, and you will be voting for one of the 3. You will find Candidates Up Front interviews on BCTV and its website and YouTube page. And for more information on candidates, you can go to the League's online voters guide, vote411.org. That's vote411.org. And for more information on election procedures, contact the Berks County Election Services. Their staff is excellent at walking you through whatever your situation is. And their website is elections@BerksPA.gov. So, easy way to reach them. And thank you for watching Candidates Up Front.